Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. Now, the other day I put out a video about a transgender child in Oklahoma, where the school was shut down because of violent threats against said child. Let me make it clear, this child is 12 years old. The child was born male, identifies female, has pretty much forever. This child was taken from one town by their parents to another in another state because of bullying that took place at their previous school. Simply because they were different. And then there are the comments that I got on my video. Most of you were very positive. Most of you are very supportive of this kid, and couldn't understand why parents, especially why adults would treat a child in this manner. And to those of you, thank you. Thank you for your positive comments. Thank you for your support of this channel, and thank you for supporting that video. It's very important to me that these children are listened to, these children are protected. Because I don't believe any child should be harmed, ever. And to think that adults would sit there and suggest violence against a child is unfathomable. As I mentioned in my video, the FBI is already investigating these people for hate crimes or potential hate crimes. I'm not sure if that'll do anything or not, because I'm not sure you can really do anything for somebody saying something except for the violent threats. Those can be seen as illegal. But then I get these comments basically defending the parents, the adults that were supposed to be protecting a child. Like, one person basically made it clear that they didn't condone it, but they condoned it by basically taking one comment and repeating it over and over again. It's always the "I don't condone it, but" crowd that bothers me. It's like racists. They're like, "Oh, I'm not racist. I just hate other races." It's the same bullshit. Same thing. So if you happen to come across this video, and you're the one that was leaving these kind of comments, let's discuss something if you happen to come by here. You kept reposting the same message over and over again. The same tweet over and over again, or the same Facebook message again and again and again. And you seem to not be listening. You said they told me I wasn't listening, when in fact I was. Because you were not listening to my responses. Because your argument was over the message about the child looking over the bathroom stall. I mentioned multiple times that the school said that is not what happened. The school has said multiple times, and I have seen this in print, that the only thing the child could have been doing was looking under the stall. And that they didn't even believe that was happening. But in an abundance of caution, to make sure that wasn't happening, to make sure this child was safe as well, they allowed them to use the faculty restroom. But you want to ignore that. You tell me that people just want to ignore the fact that this kid got in trouble at 10 years old for potentially looking under a bathroom stall. The kid was 10 years old. 10-year-olds make mistakes. If by chance this kid was looking around or under or over the stall, it was 2 years ago. Children make mistakes. Children do things they're not supposed to. It happens. I knew multiple times where people, when I was in school, cisgender children that would occasionally look under or over the stalls. They were not punished repeatedly for their entire time at school. They were, admonished once. If they didn't do it again, nothing was said again. There are no reports saying that this kid has done anything outside of that one possible infraction. Even though the school said, and the parent even agreed with the school, saying that that is not what was taking place. And to think, you want to sit there and tell me you don't condone this, but you seem to think it's okay that this child be treated different than anybody else. You people seem to think it's okay to allow a child to have to piss itself because you don't feel comfortable. It says more about you than it does about me. And it says more about you than it does about this child. This channel will support transgender rights. This channel will support gay and lesbian rights, LGBTQ rights, period. If you don't like that, that's fine. This won't be the topic of every video. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you to unsubscribe or leave. Because this is America. We're free to our own opinions. But you're not free to your own facts. Myself, I don't believe this child should be being treated this poorly because of the potential of one mistake when they were 10 years old. What's that make the kid? 5th grade? At least when I was growing up, that would have been about 5th grade. So, here's the deal. I don't care what happened 2 years ago. I'm going to tell you that point blank. I do not care what happened 2 years ago. It has no bearing on the violent threats directed at this child in 2018. If all this child did, which all the reports say all this child did, was walk into the girls' restroom and use the restroom as someone that identified as a girl. And if you remember, back in 2016, the country was all aflame. All in a tizzy. Because transgender children were being allowed to use public restrooms in places. And people had been worked up into all sorts of fear and hate mongering. So is there any possibility that that story that you think happened, that one person made a comment on back in 2016, 2 years ago, when this child supposedly was peeking under or over a bathroom stall? Do you think possibly that some of that was led by that fear? and the fear-mongering and hate-mongering that was going on of transgender children and transgender people in general in this country? You don't think that's a possibility? You don't think that maybe a child heard his or her parent talking badly, or other girls hearing their parents talk badly about this transgender child, and so they said something that wasn't true or exaggerated something that happened? I know back when I was growing up, that happened quite frequently, where people would say things to people or about people that weren't true, especially in fourth, fifth, sixth grade, just because they were different. So you can keep watching my videos. I hope you subscribe and come back for more. If you don't like my views on this particular topic, you may like my views on others. So like I said, I'm not going to tell you to unsubscribe. I'm not going to be hateful like that. I'm not going to let hate dictate my channel. There are a lot of things in this world that I can't stand. And harming children or threats to harm children is one of them. I will in no way ever condone violence or violent threats against children. I don't care who says them. I don't care where they come from. I will not put up with it. It's unfortunate that some of you out there possibly do. But to those of you that supported my video and have given me likes and good comments, thank you. Thank you for showing your support for this channel. Thank you for showing your support for this child and other transgender people. And to the one or two of you, you don't matter to me. You don't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. I'll make that very clear. Your opinion matters not. What happened 2 years ago is not an issue. What matters is that this child is safe. And to the person that started a GoFundMe campaign to help this child, thank you. If that money is truly going to this little girl or this little girl and her family, thank you. From everything I've seen, it looks like it's on the up and up. I'm always leery of, third-party GoFundMes. But if, it has a message that says that's supposedly from the mother, so I'm going to assume that maybe this person's actually being honest. I hope so, because they've raised $23,000 to help this family move from the town they're in. Anyways, this has been the Big Ranch Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck. And I'll see you down the road.